If you give me just a few moments of your time, you and I together can prove all of these Dokkan haters wrong. I'm going to show you in this video why Dokkan isn't going anywhere anytime soon, why the game practically feels immortal, and you might learn something because I bet there's at least one or two things here that you haven't even thought of yet. And if you know someone who's wishing on Dokkan's downfall, show them this video. That's why I'm saying you and I, because again, together we can wake these fools up. Now, really quick, I need to catch at least one person lacking with today's very quick subscriber challenge, which is this. I think it's very fair. It's been about 2 days since this guy's come out. If you don't have this guy awakened in your box, SA 20 out of 20, 140 out of 140 with all due paths unlocked. I'm not going to ask for it to be rainbowed, but if you don't have him 140 out of 140, SA 20 out of 20, awakened, all that good stuff, you got caught lacking today. I don't know what you're doing, and you got to subscribe to the channel. It is what it is. If you do have this done, I appreciate you for grinding. Let's hop straight into today's video. You can skip today's subscriber challenge, but I will catch you lacking next one. Stay tuned for that. Let's hop straight into today's video, man, because again, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. First things first, we have to quickly mention a few things from this producer's letter. Dude, Dokkan introducing the producer's letter itself is an amazing thing. Remember that Dokkan is 7 years old. And just recently, they started doing this producer's letter. Recently, they've been communicating more with us. So, again, that's a massive sign that this game is listening to what we have to say. I think Legends does a really good job with that, by the way. And Dokkan, 7 years in, starting to really do that is just going to breed nothing but goodness for this game. But specifically, I want to talk about this. So, first things first, Dokkan is mentioning in this portion of like the feedback thing that they are not only catering to veteran players with the content that they want to introduce, but also making more content easier to play, which is basically the whole point of version Z in the first place. Which again, dude, the reason why a lot of games die is because they focus a lot of their attention on the veteran players, right? On all the players that maybe can spend a lot of money, which is again a different case in and of itself. But Dokkan is not neglecting anyone. If you're new to the game, you can look forward to Dokkan. If you're a veteran in the game, you can continue looking forward to other forms of content that's going to challenge you no matter what. That's a great thing about Dokkan, and they're still aiming to do that. Like 7 years into this, game, they're still saying that they're going to focus on both sides, which again breeds nothing but goodness for this game, especially moving forward. Another thing I want to mention is this right here. Now, this is friend function, but this is not really the friend system. It's just, you know, how we can interact with other players. But dude, co-op? 7 years into this game and you're teasing co-op? You know how excited that has players? A lot of games that last this long, you know, start to slow down in terms of excitement. But Dokkan finds new ways every single day. Not every single day, obviously, but Dokkan finds new ways to excite the players. And dude, teasing co-op 7 years into this game, you know how fun the co-op could really be? I feel like the possibilities with co-op are pretty much endless, and it's going to breed new life into this game. I'm telling you right now, new modes like this where you can really interact with your friends and stuff is going to breed new life, especially for content creators, right? Like when games like this implement new systems, it generates new content. So like all sides of the Dokkan community is just benefiting from certain things like this, and I would love to see how they implement this moving forward. Again, another W, right? Things like 7 years into this game, and there's still things we can look forward to that they're communicating with us. It's not like speculation. They're literally like, read this. They're teasing it. All right. Another thing I want to mention is this. Okay. There's a lot of things I have to mention here, but I need you to hear me out. The introduction of the 200% meta is something that I think is going to change the game moving forward. Currently, we only have 4 200% leaders, I think, right? We have Raditz, we have Ginyu, and then we have both Part 1 Anniversary LRs. The 200% meta is such a good thing because not only did it introduce a new meta, but now every single unit that Dokkan is going to release, people are looking forward to it a lot more. They're wondering what will the unit be and what will the categories that they lead be? What will the next 200% lead be? Are you telling me that in 7 years, after 7 years, people are more excited than ever about the next Dokkan Fest? That when a new unit teases, the whole community is in shambles trying to, you know, speculate this, speculate that. This game, 7 years into the making, I have to keep mentioning mentioning that because it's almost been a decade, and they found a way to make players hype about every single release, especially with these 200% leader skills. Another great thing is that when it comes to these leader skills, so many other units besides themselves are getting massive buffs, right? So because of that, even if you don't pull, like, you know, every single new unit in this game, when these 200% leader skills drop and you actually get one copy or something, you can now buff up other units in your box basically by what, 60% to HP attack and defense, because if you have, you know, this guy or one leader plus the friend leader, a lot of your units in your box are getting buffed. It's like mini EZAs for everyone in your box. So just because you can't have all the new shiny units, some old units in your box can end up looking a lot better, breeding more life into this game, right? You have units that you thought were dead, and now they're a lot more enjoyable. These 200% leader skills have changed the meta in, I think, an amazing way. Not only do people want these leaders a lot more, people are more excited about these units, but on top of that, a lot of old units in your box are getting buffs, which is going to make, it's going to increase the, not playability, but just the enjoyment of players, because now I don't need every single unit or every single new unit to really experience the power of a 200% leader, especially when all these other old units that are just collecting rust in your box are basically getting mini EZAs because of the introduction of these very mega powerful leader skills. So I think this new meta has a lot of people excited about the future of Dokkan for sure. I don't really know if you have room to agree with me there. Another thing I want to talk about is link levels. Link levels has been out for what, a year and a half maybe. It feels like a really long time, but not really that too long. But the thing I want to talk about link levels is, or the thing I want to mention with link levels is that whether you grind links or not, link levels, masters, or link levels, the one thing to understand about businesses or maybe even games like this is that what generates games money is when people are actually playing the game. Granted, I'm link leveling right now. Link leveling is such a smart thing by Dokkan because it keeps the reason why these rates are the way they are is because you need to grind. The link levels takes a long time to grind, all right? It requires you to be in the game basically 20. There's so many people that grind this game 24/7 just grinding links. I'm one of them myself. Sometimes I spend all day doing other things, but I'm grinding links. Dude, with the auto mode too, it's like you have all these players that are constantly in this game grinding links, and that's going to lead to some people making purchases, right? Some people spending stones and they need to buy more stones. It's like they know they found a way to really captivate the attention and the retention of a lot of the player base. Now, granted, again, I know not everyone grinds links, but I can tell you right now, before link leveling was a thing, I wasn't playing this game 24/7. I had to grind a lot of things when I was on grinding. There's nothing to really do. There's nothing to do. But now link leveling is always an option, which I find absolutely amazing. Maybe they can tweak the rates. I think, you know, increase this to 1% and then just follow suit with all these other, just slightly increase the rates, make more players want to grind links, and then make it more incentivated, right? Like maybe, you know, give 3 stones basically to you know, every time you get a unit to max links, give the you know, a certain player 3 stones, right? I think 3 stones is a pretty nice reward, and maybe a few orbs. Like, incentivize link leveling a little bit more, and you're gonna have a lot of players in this game constantly grinding links. And guess what? The more players that are in the game, the more players might end up, you know what, let me go ahead and purchase this, let me do this, let me do that, spend some stamina, spend some stones, and that's how the Dokkan just continues to generate money. It's a smart business move at the end of the day. So link leveling definitely has changed, or has massively increased the retention that Dokkan sees within its players, which again is a very, very smart business move. So another thing I have to mention is this legendary summon banner, which many people, I'm going to tell you right now, are not even thinking about this, but this change is way bigger than you think, okay? And this is the reason. So before this legendary summon banner, we had legendary summon banners drop with 1 LR and then maybe another featured LR and then 12 featured SSRs in total. This banner changed to 3 featured LRs and then 10 SSRs in total, massively increasing the value of this banner, right? What this shows us is that Dokkan is willing to change, Dokkan is willing to adapt as the game continues to evolve. So many games out there die because they're unwilling to change something that they set out to do from the beginning. They're too scared to change. They think, you know, that the game might die, or they think, you know, they're going to lose money, blah, blah, blah. This shows especially 7 years into this game, that Dokkan is not scared to change things up, to increase the value of these banners, to evolve with the game. Because when the developers don't evolve with the game and the game is demanding that you change something and you don't change it, that's how games start to die slowly. But Dokkan isn't like that. Dokkan is showing us that they are willing to change, willing to adapt as the game that they created starts to evolve. I think that is an incredible sign that 7 years into this game, Dokkan is not only listening to us a lot more, not only has us more excited about specific units, not only has a lot more players playing the game, which is definitely going to increase their revenue, but they're evolving with the game and they're not scared to change things up. And dude, this makes it harder for players to not summon or to basically to skip. This is really good value. I love that they're doing this. I want Dokkan to continue evolving as the game itself evolves. Another thing I have to mention and give Dokkan credit for is the Super Strike events. We know that Dokkan had no reason to start touching these events again. These are OG events that barely anyone, I would doubt anyone, you know, really grinds these anymore, unless you've been playing Dokkan back in the day and you already had all these done. But that's besides the point. Dokkan had really no reason to go into this. But guess what? Dokkan, at the time of recording this video, we have Tech Mighty Mask revamp, we have the AGL Kid Vegeta revamp, and the Android 16 revamp. What does this show us? This shows us that Dokkan is not, how do I phrase this? Dokkan isn't ignoring these OG types of content. Dokkan doesn't put things out just to ignore it forever. This shows us that eventually Dokkan will say, you know what, let's go ahead and improve that. Let's go ahead and improve this. And this, like I'm mentioning, is an amazing thing, especially for free-to-play players. Because not only are they introducing events like Red Zone, right, where, you know, veteran players are obviously, you know, having a lot of fun with that, but newer players into this game now are going to have a lot more free-to-play options to grind up. These events are on rotation daily. So you have all these free-to-play buffs. All these units are going to get, again, awakenings and EZAs. A lot of value for a lot of free-to-play players and just teams as you start, you know, building. Dude, can you imagine how easy it's going to be to grind up these Prime Battle LRs once all these units are done? I just think that them not ignoring things into this game shows us that eventually certain things will get fixed. Certain things will get buffs. And that brings me into, you know, my my next point here. Which actually, this is just for the subscriber challenge, but with the update that they actually just teased for Global Dokkan, right? All of the EZA update makes this game, dude. Sometimes I really don't want to grind EZAs, not because the EZA itself is annoying, but awakening the unit is really, really annoying. And I know you can probably, you know, understand that, but Dokkan is changing that. The retry button makes things so much easier, right? Dokkan is still adding things into this game that just makes playing the game so much easier. Like, how could we really argue with that? Are you really saying that Dokkan is going to die sometime soon when 7 years into this game, they're still implementing things that are making the game more enjoyable, more easy? Like, everything is just becoming more hype 7 years into this game? Come on. And I think the biggest thing, to be completely honest with you, the biggest factor that I believe plays into the fact how, you know, about how Dokkan is just going to basically live forever at this point is that Dokkan still has way more ways to improve. A perfect thing, a perfect game has no room to evolve. Dokkan is 7 years old, is doing all of these incredible, amazing things, and yet has still so many ways to improve. And all of these updates and changes, I think, makes me really confident that we can see updates and changes to other things as well. For example, World Tournament. I'm telling you right now, World Tournament is going to get revamped at some point in the future, especially since these medals aren't really needed anymore. Like, these medals are used to awaken, like, the Super Strike units, right? But the Super Strike event has basically, you know, given us the Super Strike revamp has given us these medals to awaken the units. We don't need, like, Dokkan is going to slowly revamp the World Tournament just to make it hopefully a lot more enjoyable. But because World Tournament sucks, we can look forward to that. It's another thing the players can look forward to. And all of this changes and all of these updates, I think, allows us to easily look forward to a change for World Tournament, something that we can look forward to. If there's nothing to look forward to, the games just get boring. Another thing I really want to talk about is the friend system, which this right here, I'm telling you right now, might as well be what the friend system looks like. It's annoying. It's stupid, and Dokkan knows that. We know Dokkan knows that, but another example of a thing that needs to change, and Dokkan is doing all these amazing things, has me hopeful for an eventual friend system update. And another thing I really want to see when it comes to, you know, how Dokkan can improve is introduce new ways to interact with the units that we actually end up summoning for, right? And we already have 2 examples of that in the game. We might have another one, but I can't really think about it right now. So Explosive Chain Battle, right? And Peton Battle are 2 modes in this game where we can interact with specific units that has nothing to do with bubble popping or anything like that. Now, personally, you want to call it bubble popping, it is what it is. That's what I just called it. But we all know that's it's deeper than that. And if you play Dokkan, you know that it's deeper than bubble popping. There's a lot of things you have to take into consideration before you start clicking orbs on the field. So many units interact with the field a lot differently, so you have to really understand that. But beyond that, I want Dokkan to add more things to where we don't need an orb of, a field of orbs. We can interact with these units in a different way, and I think that the Ultimate Clash or Battlefield 1.0 was actually a really I wouldn't say incredibly fun, but it was a really interesting way to interact with units, and I want Dokkan to do something like that in the future. And it shows us that Dokkan is willing to step out of their comfort zone. Games that are doing the same thing over and over and over again eventually die out, but that's not what Dokkan's doing. Dokkan is saying, you know what, let's try this, let's try that, let's see how we can have these units interact or these things interact, or what if we do this, what if we change it up. Games that are willing to do that but also pay respect to their actual core, I mean, dude, what more can you want from a game? Or I guess a developer, right? Developer who's willing to change things up. A developer who's not going to forget or ignore things in their game, especially since these are some of the oldest events in the game. A game that is willing to adapt as things go on, or as the game itself, the one that they developed, is actually changing and evolving as well. A game that has introduced a way for us to play basically 24/7. Granted, it's not the greatest system of all time, but they can definitely change it. A game that is still introducing new meta 7 years into this game and has us excited for every single release 7 years into this game. Like, dude, I don't know, man. Again, Dokkan has its issues. I'm not here to say it's perfect, but because it's not perfect is because Dokkan isn't perfect is what allows us to really look forward to the future of this game. So let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I don't know, man. Let me know what you like. How long do you think Dokkan will last? Be honest with me. Honestly, I can't see an end to sight. And dude, remember, like, we have Dragon Ball Super still airing. The movie's still coming out. Sorry, that's not true. Dragon Ball Super is not airing, sorry, but the manga, is still going on. We know that the anime is coming back at some point. Like, come on, like, it's just a matter of when. It's not if. We know that. And on top of that, you know, again, the movie is still coming out. There's still Dragon Ball is still alive and well. And when they start implementing that, dude, I don't know, man. Dokkan is just greatest game of all time. I mean, what other game really rivals Dokkan? Let me know. I'll see you in the next one. Take care and peace.